Hi friends, Star. Welcome to QAI AI Wizards, your magical home for fun new tech, AI, and data learning adventures. Today we're going to peek behind the curtain at a super secret rulebook that helps the whole internet run. It's called ITIL, and it's like magic for making sure our favorite apps don't turn into a giant, messy glitch fest. Yay! Let's start the magic. Have you ever been so excited for a new update on your favorite game or app? You download it, you open it, and oh no, it's slow, it's crashing, or it's just totally broken. It's super frustrating, right? Well, it makes you wonder, why does that even happen? Well, the reason is something we can call the code chaos problem. Imagine a bunch of people trying to build a giant Lego castle without any instructions. It would get super messy and chaotic, right? That's kind of what happens with apps when there aren't any rules. And this chaos causes some real digital disasters. Like when an app works perfectly fine for the people making it, but when you try to use it, crash. Or when a helper tries to push a quick fix, but ends up breaking 10 other things. And then the support team gets zillions of messages about the exact same problem over and over again. It's total digital anarchy. And it happens when nobody's following the rules of the road. So if everything is a big, messy chaos, what's the solution? This is where our hero, ITIL, comes to the rescue. Think of it like a constitution, a super important set of rules for the entire land of technology. It's the framework that brings order to all that chaos. So the big question is, how do we stop all that digital messiness? How can we build a system where updates make things better instead of breaking them, and where all our favorite services are super reliable for all of us who love to use them? The answer is ITIL. It stands for Information Technology Infrastructure Library. Whoa, that's a mouthful. But really, it's just a big library of best practices. A rulebook that tells everyone how digital services should be planned out, how new ideas get approved, how cool new versions are released, and how the whole thing is managed so it's safe and predictable for us, the users. Okay, let's look at it this way, because this is the key to understanding ITIL. Without it, you get total anarchy. Everybody does whatever they want, and it's a huge mess. But with ITIL, you have a controlled digital nation. You have laws, you have a process, and you have a government making sure everything works for the good of the citizens. And in this case, the citizens are all of us using the app. Let's meet the team in our digital nation. The developers are like the lawmakers. They write the new code, the new rules for the app. The quality assurance teams, or QA, they're like the Supreme Court. They decide if the new code is good enough and follows all the rules. The release pipelines, that's the government carrying out the plan. And the production environment, well, that's the country itself. It's where all of us, the public, get to live and use the service. So that's the big picture. But now let's go into the engine room and see how this amazing system actually works. What are the little gears that make the ITIL machine run so smoothly? It all follows something super cool called the service value chain. It's like a recipe for getting a great idea all the way to you. First, you plan what you're going to make. Then you engage by talking to friends to see what they want. Design and transition is where you drop the plans. Then you obtain/build, which is where the real coding and making happens. After that, you deliver and support, launching it for everyone to use. And the best part is the last step, improve, which means always listening and finding ways to make it even better. But it's not just about steps. ITIL makes you think about 4 super important things at once. You need the right people doing the right jobs. You need awesome technology and tools. You have to work with your partners, like the companies that provide the servers. And, of course, you need those awesome processes we just talked about. The really important thing is that you need all 4. If you forget even one, the whole thing could fall apart, like a Lego tower with a missing piece. Okay, I know this might sound a little bit like grown-up talk, but I promise you've already seen ITIL's magic everywhere. It's the quiet little engine running inside the tools that power all your favorite apps. For example, when you tell a grown-up that an app is broken and they type it into a computer using a tool like ServiceNow, that's ITIL. When a company uses Jenkins to automatically send out new updates or Jira to keep track of all the testing, they're following ITIL's rules. Even the instruction manuals they keep in a tool called Confluence are part of this awesome, organized system. These tools are what bring the ITIL rulebook to life. And these tools help everyone follow the most important rules of the road. You must get approval before you release something new. You must have proof that real users like you and me tested it and said it was okay. And you absolutely positively must have a plan to go back to the old version if something goes wrong. The big no-nos are pushing fixes without thinking and skipping all the important steps. That's how you get those digital disasters we talked about. Phew, that was a lot to learn. So let's lock it all in our brains with the super fun memory trick. It's just 4 simple steps to remember how a problem gets fixed the right way. First step is I for incident. An incident is the official report that says, oh, something is broken. Next, we have C for change. A change is the approved plan for how to fix the incident. Then comes R for release. A release is the brand new, fixed version of the app, all packaged up and ready to go. And last is D for deployment. That's the final step, where they push the big button and send the fix out to all of us. So remember, incident, change, release, deployment. ICRD. It's the safe path from broken to brilliant. So why did we spend all this time learning about these rules? Because understanding ITIL isn't just for tech geniuses. It's like getting a superpower that helps you understand why the digital world works, or sometimes why it doesn't. Let's think about it from the other side. What actually happens when a company decides to just ignore the rulebook and hope for the best? The costs are huge, and they affect you. First, the app or website you love just stops working. Poof, gone. For the company, that can mean getting in big trouble. But the biggest cost of all, the one that's the hardest to fix, is losing your trust. When we think an app is messy and unreliable, it's really hard for us to want to use it again. And that brings us to the most important point of all. When you understand ITIL, you see things differently. You realize that the people following these rules aren't just checking boxes. They are the guardians of the app. They're like superheroes protecting the business from losing money, and, most importantly, from making all of us users unhappy. So, I'll leave you with this amazing thought to ponder. ITIL is the invisible rulebook for making apps stable and safe. But what other secret rulebooks are out there, quietly making sure your favorite video games, cartoons, and tools all work perfectly every single day? That's something to think about. That's all for today's magic. Thank you for learning with us. Come back soon to QA AI Wizards for the next super fun tech and data adventure. Bye, friends. You are all AI Wizards.